Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for the webinar on Unwrapping Your Holiday Advertising Success. I'm Maria Bouza. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Digilant, and I have here with me today Damon and Sian. And Damon and Sian welcome, and would love if you guys could introduce yourselves as well.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Damon. I run strategy for the group. And fun fact about me is that I was one of these kids that spent the whole night waiting for Santa because I couldn't believe this secret. And I burned my parents preparing the tree. That's my holiday fun fact for today.
So hi, everyone. My name is Cian. I head up strategy in the US, focused on brands. And fun fact is that I do believe in Santa Claus. My older kids, they're non-believers, but I do have a straggler. She's 3. She's super excited about Christmas, so I have to keep that spirit alive.
I love it. That's amazing. So we are coming back from the holidays, and clearly we are going to be chatting about last quarter of the year, last push. Clearly, obviously, we are including the holiday shopping season, and that comes with challenges, with opportunities, and with concerns. So we are going to touch on some of these areas today. And on how to, really, and a lot around, what are the opportunities to both drive sales and capture consumer attention in a crowded marketplace. One quick item from a housekeeping perspective, at the last 10 to 15 minutes, we are going to open up for questions. So if you hear anything from Damon and Cian and you would like to follow up, please feel free to submit the questions via the QA portal. So
like
to
how
kick it off,
Santa is everywhere at the same time. Like good question like that,
So to kick it off, this is gonna be a record setting holiday season, right? And then we are gonna see that actually consumers are planning on spending over $1 trillion in gifts. And another interesting tidbit here is that, for example, this is going to be a mix between both online and offline retail or physical retail. But this year, it will be the first time that Amazon surpasses a $100 billion mark. So with these numbers in mind, Damon, what are some of the key factors that will shape this competitive battleground?
Well, first, before going into the battleground itself, it's important to remember what is the season for both the consumer and our team, preparing it. And I think most important is that it's not the holiday shopper is not your typical category consumer. You need to sit down with your team, brainstorm specifically for your category, what are the different mood of this consumer? What makes it different? And for example, when you gift, the act of gifting is throwing you off in your typical shopping. Sometimes you gift out of your comfort zone. So your price point, your shopping, when you gift something you don't know about, you rely a lot on reviews and peers and comparison and search engine and so on. So think about all the moment and the mindset of the consumer. You also, beside gifting, you're going to have people that travel either to avoid the family or to gather with the family. I don't know which team are you playing for. But in any case, you're going to have people looking for escape. You're going to have people looking for gathering. The two are big opportunities that comes with not only the traveling, but the local shopping and the opportunity to prepare and everything. So think about all of that. Is there an opportunity for your product, your services? People are going to entertain. That's very important too. And people are going to treat themselves. Self-gifting, I do that sometimes when my wife forget about my gift. And you tend to go above and beyond a set budget when you do that. So that's also an opportunity for brand and agencies to grow their business. Next is the mindset that everyone will be in, right? We are in a stormy mindset with election coming, and the economy has been waiting for a while for a redressment. So as you look on the graph on the left, you see that every time the market was above expectation, you had this crash and a return to reality of the consumer and market and finance. So we are expecting this right now. It didn't happen. We had some first sign of earthquake in the stock market, but we didn't experience any crash. So many families are looking at shrinking savings with the inflation, and they are nervous going into this. So it's important as a brand to remember that any opportunity to promote reward, to help people take decision behind just a price point, right? Like to get good promotion, but also helping people. All of this wrapping paper, if I can use this metaphor around your holiday prep, will be super useful. Any idea to reward beyond the price will echo. For example, for traveling, think about people that wants to anticipate and print their boarding pass at home, have the perfect application to check in, free luggage on board, like anything like that can make a difference. Then it's going to be a very packed and chaotic timeline. Obviously, we have the election finishing very late with enormous investment up to the beginning of the holiday season. So the inventories for any display media, linear, programmatic TV, radio, podcast, so all this inventory will be pre-bought with the race between Democrat and Republican. Last update this morning, Democrats are over-investing in key markets. So think about this race and how inventory should be booked or going outside of typical box to book your media investment. The holiday season will be very short, only 27 days. That didn't happen since 2019. And when this very short holiday season between Thanksgiving and Christmas happened, all the massive players, the retailers, the brands, everyone tend to start the season very early. So starting the season very early with pre-promotion, preparing, gift ideas, all of that, advertising very early, joined to the packed inventory of election, that's going to be a very expensive market. So all idea about performance optimization really matters. And last but not least, important to notice that over the last two holiday period, post-season sales have been a growing, interesting trend. So many people, because they are traveling or because they don't see the family and loved one during the holidays, do not mind to wait for after the craziness of the race to buy the gift. So there is an opportunity for last minute and the long tail of the holiday shoppers coming to play late, and many of them capitalize on that. Well, that's the lay of the land. In this situation, the deals, the big five, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and so on, they really do matter. A lot of money will be spent, almost like a quarter of the entire shopping revenue will come from this specific boost. So preparing them carefully ahead of time, optimizing from price, availability, everything matters.
What an end of the year we are going to have, right? And August has been a little bit of a taste between the DNC, a new, presidential candidate, roller coaster market ride as well. The Fed is planning on cutting the rates, and still people have concerns about the recession. And then you brought it up, right, Damon, in terms of like consumer sentiment as well, and it's very fluctuating. So and uncertain. So what market dynamics do you foresee that may arise? And any disruptors that could potentially take advantage of market conditions?
You will have your traditional specialized stores. You will have the Sephora, Ulta, Blue Mercury for beauty, for example, places where you go for a specific gift ID like REI for outdoors and so on. But the big behemoths, the big player will be overly dominating Walmart and Amazon for the US market. Walmart will take the lion's share because we all are living close to a Walmart, almost all of us are living close to a Walmart, and they're going to beneficiate not only from the proximity that creates the foot traffic for groceries and entertainment, and they're going to capitalize on that to play two cards, the gifting card in store, and of course, they are fighting very hard with the second behemoth, Amazon. So Walmart is upping his digital game to fight Amazon. And Amazon is using everything it has, and specifically this year, optimization of delivery with AI driving for the first time, where the trucks will deliver to improve the delay for delivery and the last minute gifting and all of that. And of course, optimization of price and cost and catalog all the year. So that will be specialized store and the big behemoths as usual. And in this very competitive context, you have, I would say, three categories of disruptor. Disruption will come from first the Temu and Shein of the world, the marketplace that are ready to break the price point, ideal for all last minute stocking stuffer, gift ID, people on a budget. We spoke a little bit earlier, and I think Sian will mention that too, about people suffering from like the post-recession or in-recession budgeting and so on. So these marketplaces will bigly disrupt this holiday season, even if people start to be wary and aware about the fact that they are avoiding and they have like some kind of gray practice on taxes and imports, and that can play a big role on some part of the population. The second disruptor will be social. So social media are collapsing the consumer journey from gifting ID straight to click to buy. And they are really internally developing strategies that include influence marketing, ambassadors, dedicated shop unit, trying to get a really seamless experience from click to checkout without having to re-enter your credit card, leaving the platform, and so on and so forth. So a big battle is happening there in social. And finally, Shopify is primed to disrupt with Shop, the app that now allows any brand to up their game in terms of website and give to anyone that have a e-shopping enabled website the same advantage that a few years back was only for Amazon, which is a seamless shopping, mobile shopping, reward, promotion, delivery in one or 2 days. Like all of that is now enabled by Shop, and that's a big change. People can fight back again the big margin grasp from Amazon.
I don't know if you have been following on TikTok, the account with Logan and cucumbers. So, right, and the power of social nowadays, where like Iceland is going through a shortage of cucumbers. Everybody wants to eat an entire cucumber now, apparently. So that's very interesting. And then you're seeing this play out at like grocery stores in the US, right? Like where you're walking into the veggies aisle and you will have the cucumbers, and like then on the side, like the sliced cucumbers. Anyway, so if we moving into in terms of, right, and moving forward, and in terms of the price saliency, right? At the same time, we are having this conversation also around the rise of Temu and Shein, and reminds me a bit of the Great Recession and the rise of discount retailers like Guild and Rulala. Different business models, slightly different, but do you think we are in a moment where price is salient for consumers and they find that price is the most important component?
Obviously, yes. In this period with the stress that we described, price positioning and inventory available is incredibly important. But we need to be very careful again. My first point was the holiday shopper is not your traditional consumer for the category. And many of the people that are about to shop are outside of what they know. So the price only is not important, but also all the social currency that gifting is bringing, right? Like think about buying a champagne. Many people will prefer to take a brand name that they know because they bring the champagne to the party, and somehow the value of the gift is linked to the social imaginary around the brand. So brand building ahead of the shopping is very important, because all of these people that look for social currency in gifting will, we all have been these parents that, do not bring the cool gift under the tree, and you look at the face of your kids like, oh, I wanted the Nike one, so think about the branding as important to lead to the competition of pricing.
So since we are discussing the rise of digital shopping, right, and digital platforms, and right, like becoming the norm from an omni-channel retail perspective, it's obvious they are pervasive in our lives, and they are here to stay. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Since you're discussing the rise of digital shopping platforms and the growing norm of omni-channel retail, it seems obvious that they are so pervasive in our lives. But what can you tell us about consumers? Are there differences in how different demographics engage with these channels? Have all the platforms been created equal? Have all the demographics been created equal?
As you can see in the video playing in the background, there's clear differences in how they dance or interact on platforms. But the big thing that we see right now demographically happening is the boomers, although they declare, so if you see the bar at the top, prefer to shop online, 43% prefer to shop online. So the majority of boomers, they prefer to shop in store. And a lot of that is based on lived experience, many decades of only having that as a channel, and there's nostalgia around that. But if you look at the bottom bar, who has purchased a product or service online in the past week? The majority of boomers have, 51% versus 35% for Gen Z. So although they declare to prefer to shop on store, the behavior is that they're shopping more and more online. And as you mentioned earlier, this desire for social connection and social currency and being out of their comfort zone, they're increasingly going to other platforms to learn and get ideas about what do younger generations want as gifts and things like that. So this prediction of TikTok made boomers buy it, you're going to see become a bigger factor. They're going to be more influenced by social about what to buy. They're going to buy more things online. And as you talked about earlier, price is a factor. It's very expensive for boomers to ship gifts to many children and grandchildren that are spread out all over the place. So it's much easier to just ship it and have it sent direct from Amazon or Walmart or other retailers and save that cost. And then that allows them to buy more gifts. The other trend we see is that we talked about boomers and the youngest generations. Sandwiched in the middle is Gen Y and Gen X. And they're getting to a moment where they're saturated, their income, discretionary spend has been put under pressure because of inflation. They have homes, they have mortgages, they have kids, their kids are involved in many different activities. So their budgets are just stretched at this moment. And so the other factor is, and I see this in my own life, my kids, they know exactly what I'm buying. They see the notifications pop up on the shop app, or they know my Amazon feed. So it's really hard to hide gifts from them. Whereas if I drop them off at practice, soccer practice or football practice, whatever, I can sneak in 1 hour of shopping at a brick and mortar store. throw it in the back of the SUV, and they never pay attention to what's back there. I have to beg them to bring things out of the car when we get home, groceries or whatever. So it's easy to hide some amazing gifts in the back of the car. They never look at it, never know about it. So those conveniences of being close to retail moments is an opportunity to intercept parents as they're busy in their lives. So omni-channel is going to be hugely important for Gen Y and Gen X that are going to be the biggest shoppers of the season in terms of spend. Moving along, we see, if you look at this notion, Damon highlighted the importance of brand. You know, women are the fairer of the genders. They're going to be the bigger shoppers because they're buying from many different people. I don't think about, you know, the teachers or the post-service workers, or my wife is thinking about all of those people. And so much more generous about giving gifts. So the opportunity to reach and talk about brand or brand values and why to buy something beyond price is more impactful to women than it is to men. Of course, they are price sensitive next, because as I mentioned, they're buying from many different people, so they have to stretch their budget. They're also not just buying what people want, they're buying needs as well. So my kid wants an iPhone, but I know they need these things for their development. They're much more conscientious. So other convenience things are important, free returns in case someone doesn't like it. And then last but not least, gift giving for themselves is becoming more prominent because they're often the one that's left out. Families are not thinking as much about them. So they're starting to more think about what do I need and what do I want, and making sure that that's also part of the equation. So those are some demographic trends that we're seeing throughout the different generations.
And we have seen a bit of like revenge shopping rising post-COVID also. So that plays along nicely with gifting to yourself. So moving along, right, we cover market conditions, some of the trends, demographic data, right, our audiences. And if we move into a more tactical ground, what are some of the top recommendations, Damon, in terms of helping the marketers and advertisers maximize sales this holiday season in this context?
Well, we all search, right? Like we all gonna search some IDs. So the first point will be to understand what is search today for the holiday shopping season. And in this context, Google is not the dominant search engine like it can be for other activity. If you put the slide on, yes. Number one, people will look in other places than Google. They will open directly marketplaces and search on Amazon and search on Walmart and search on LEI website for IDs and to compare price and delivery. So you need to be, as a brand, you need to be everywhere. And we'll talk about that in the next slide. That's not easy. So diversify your search and optimize your search in more than just Google. Second search trend is that social is becoming a dominant search engine for specific groups or specific generations. And being searched through TikTok, being searched through Instagram is something that you need to optimize now if you want this to win this sale. And last, in search, this year will be the first year where AI have a big impact in how the algorithm optimize for search and how existing pages and content, so regardless if it's your website or reviews talking about you, will be taken in account in this AI available in Google, in OpenAI, and other places in order to suggest gift IDs, in order to refine your search in a web page. So AI start to play a role into the mix. It's not anymore like cross-linking, optimization, and so on. The second important thing, we just said it, is you need to be in many places. So how to deal with that complexity? You need to be on Amazon, you need to be on Walmart, Target. Now you need to be on TikTok Shop, and you need to be also on Etsy, and so on. So in order to deal with all of that complexity, we strongly advise to go and get like professional of this optimization. There is a back office catalog optimization. There is a constant price with automated alert and update of pricing. You don't want to lose a price point if you don't have to, but you want to update immediately if the competition goes below. So all of this requires that you take people who are certified in this platform, Amazon, Walmart, TikTok, and that you work with them to optimize. It becomes really a ultra professional task. If you don't have a big team with specialists, that may even cover the added benefit for you will cover the cost of asking professional to do it. And when you go and you optimize on marketplace, you need to also have the mood and to talk to the team if you have cross-functional team in order to activate them. Like, you have TikTok and Amazon massively investing in communities, ambassadors, micro group, micro influencers that will specifically help sell a specific product. So think about getting very professional at it and activating within the platform, not just being on the platform. The next best practice will be to obviously not shy away from the gift guides. You have two types of gift guide. You have the gift guide owned by media, and you have the gift guide owned by retailer. You have different approach. In some of them, you need to have upfront investment in order to be there. In others, you can easily negotiate based on the optimization of your catalog. And also think out of the box. Like there are going to be so many gift catalog that you want, like the example on the right, the partnership between LM, Target, and Disney. You want to give this magic sweet spot that you have in this video, which is it's fun, it's entertaining, but think about it. The bottom line is you know what to buy because it's in LM's gift ID. You have the influence and the value of like, is it cool, is it trendy? Yes, because you have the ambassador. And you know where to buy. So you have the why, the how, and the where in the same video, and it drives really result. The next is many people make promotion, right? On your website, on your TikTok, on your Instagram, you're gonna advertise promotion. But you have ways to go beyond this and to, for example, on the left, you have people within this platform that have a specialty of finding and spreading promotion against specific items. So go and seed and engage with these people, make sure your promotion do not live only in your CRM program and your website and is known by the communities, by the influencer. You can give specific gift code for the influencer to spread. And you have also technologies that allow you, when you surf a product, you have in-browser add-on that allow you to look for promo coupon. So this promo coupon has to be fed to the system. Make sure you go on all the websites and Reddits and influencers that spread your promotion better than you doing it yourself. Finally, we spoke a little bit about Spotify earlier. The shop, so not Spotify, Shopify. The Shop by Shopify app allow everyone to rethink their website at the core of their shopping strategy. Websites tend to become, in the last few years, something that is like a nice to have more than the center of your strategy. If you up your game with Shop or any other type of boosted app that take over your back office and refresh it with promotion, automatic spread in social media, better layout, all the best practice of seamless mobile shopping, and so on, you will make the best of the place where your margin are the best, which is your own properties.
So clearly, like I will be searching on social, love searching on video, actually, both on Instagram and TikTok. But once all these push tactics are in place, what can brands do also to pull or attract new customers? And what are some of your recommendations?
Yeah, so once someone's decided to enter a category, let's say they want to give a gift for him, and they go into search mode, or they go on social, or they go onto a marketplace like Amazon or Walmart, with the intent to buy that gift or to search for those gifts. The way to win it is actually through emotion, through the lens of emotion before they even get there, to plant the seed of why your product or your brand is better than the other. And an amazing example of that is cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is one of those holiday traditions that you only think about once a year as Thanksgiving comes. And ocean spray is one of the most beautiful examples of this that I've seen of late, is that before you get to that aisle in the shopping store is Ocean Spray. They had this beautiful campaign called The Wiggle, and it became viral. Because everyone relates to those awkward holiday moments when you're sitting around the table with strange people, uncles and aunts you haven't seen for a while. And what Ocean Spray did was took that moment and injected a lot of fun in it with the jiggle of when you take that cranberry sauce out of the can and you put it, it does that wiggle. And so they dramatized that, and it became this phenomenon that spread throughout all kinds of media and was embraced widely for very little spend, just injected a lot of emotion into the creativity. And as I mentioned, it went viral. So if we see the results of the campaign, generated 4.5 billion impressions, 250,000 engagements across TikTok and Twitter. What's amazing is that it's not just a cool video or a cool ad. It drove sales, 27% year-over-year increase in cranberry jelly sales. And what's also important about this from a longevity standpoint, thinking long-term, it increased penetration amongst millennials. A lot of millennials are starting to drop traditions. So cranberry sauce is one of those that can often get overlooked. And so this reinforced amongst a whole new generation the importance of cranberry sauce. And the wiggle really was the emotional hook that drove that interest. So optimizing against emotion is critical in a holiday moment to stand out, so that before someone starts to search, they already in their mind have an emotional connection and a preference for the brand. So that's number one. Number two is challenging the traditional media paradigm. A lot of agencies, a lot of brands, they think, you know what, we don't have budget for TV, we don't have budget for out of home, we're going to take that off the table. But there's an opportunity now to rethink old media through the lens of programmatic, Trade Desk, and other platforms. It's now very easy to buy targeted traditional media. So you can optimize on geo, you can optimize on context, and for 50 or 100K, you could be in some incredibly impactful media. So rethink old media. Social is going to be incredibly expensive, particularly with the political season that we mentioned, the holiday season. Everyone's going to be there. So there's an opportunity to zig with traditional media. And then for older generations, as we saw, that are increasingly going on TikTok, on other platforms, is to rethink how you can engage them. Brunch with Babs is an amazing example by Chandon of how they took their champagne brand and targeted an older demographic that they traditionally don't reach around the holidays, and how you can brighten up entertaining with champagne. Some awesome ideas that Babs shares, just engaging content. And again, that emotional connection is going to help them stand out at shelf when that generation goes to buy some bubbly for the holidays. So challenging the traditional media paradigm, incredibly important. Last but not least is social shopping is exploding, as we mentioned earlier, particularly amongst Gen Z. So through Amazon Live, they have turnkey solutions. So go to different platforms and see what opportunities they have available for your product to stand out. As we mentioned earlier, this revenge shopping or self-gifting, beauty is a great example in these moments to stand out and to invite someone into an immersive experience. So beauty is a great one for social shopping, particularly amongst younger generations. So experiment there, great opportunity. I think this is going to be the year that social shopping is going to really take ground, and it's going to be a big thing coming into 2025. So great opportunity to test there. And then the last tip is really successful activation. There's really no magic. It's really about honest planning. A lot of brands or agencies still think about they'll do some influencer thing or a PR stunt, and it's kind of off on its own. But Adidas and Foot Locker had a great example of how do I take an influencer campaign around the holidays and engage the sneaker community in a fun way, and how do I translate that then to sales? So if you see on the next slide, we have on the left, they put 500K towards the influencer community, so reaching sneaker lovers through influencers. In the middle, they put 400K, so anyone that was exposed to that content, they brought them down the funnel and targeted them with specific promotions to actually buy the shoes. And then that was also linked to the conversion campaign that they had always on and evergreen. So it's just thinking about connecting the dots, holistic planning. When you do these activations, think top of funnel all the way through the messy middle and then down to the actual sale.
So we heard emotion, social shopping, search, promotions, upgrading your website. How can we tie all these different tactics and solutions together?
The magic link between all of that is data and how you de-silo data. So many times I see a campaign plan that are oversized compared to the reality of the target audience. So model the shoppers for your holiday, your service, and your product based on solid, reliable data, and then compare to what the media marketplace like Facebook and Meta and so on propose as advertising opportunity. So make a reality check between solid model of your target audience and what is proposed in the trading platform. That's one example of the silo your data. You can think about the number of time where you purchase something and you are literally bombarded by the same type or the same product of advertising for 3, 4, 5 days. Think about the cash burn on a consumer like you, just because your engine to optimize and target do not pass the correct data to your engine to remove you and protect the overexposure per capita across 2 or 3 platforms. So you purchase on Shop and Meta do not know it because there is no connecting layer in the system of the advertiser. So yeah, de-silo your data, test the new type of data lake that help you create closed loops. So there is a good example for 3 years plus now. You have Kroger and Roku sharing the data about their consumer into a walled garden, and advertiser can come in and use this audience and the Roku inventory in order to create a loop between the store, the media touch point, and the people behavior and consumption. So think about all of these things that you can test and scale to de-silo data between platforms.
Thank you, Damon and Cian. But before we wrap it up, we have a couple questions from the audience. And one that came in, even this one came in before, it's a prior submission, but we addressed this a little bit. But we received a question about the election cycle and affecting holiday shopping, and the advertising period. Is there anything else that the two of you would like to add here?
Is there anything about Santa Claus being everywhere? Okay. So best practice about the election are kind of fairly straightforward, but it's important to list them. Number one, start early, obviously. Pre-booking inventory and inventory on specific audience matters. So start your planning and booking really early. Absolutely implement in all your trading platform strong guideline, blacklist, whitelist, to avoid to be present with advertising that either best case scenario has zero relevance, worst case scenario is in a horrible context. That's really helpful, and a good guideline in place with your agency or advertiser can solve that. Do have a contingency plan. We saw that with the assassination attempt lately, but any other event that may or may not happen. So you need to have a contingency plan to be able to pull down a campaign immediately if something like that happens and you are in the risk of like being mixed up. Specifically in the holiday season where people are sometimes working remotely or taking themselves vacation, have someone in place, someone you can count on to call and immediately react. Another very specific to election is pay attention. So map the swing states where majority of the money will be spent for election, the swing states and your holiday shoppers. Are your holiday shopper mainly active in swing states or somewhere else? And if they are active somewhere else, you may want to overweight in your investment the media planning that you are doing outside of swing states, because that's where the media will be performing better during the pre-season of the holiday, and then you can switch back to a full state. But think about very specifically your business in swing states. And of course, take in account the funnel vision that will be exacerbated during this election campaign. So many people will need to activate, to take a big example, Fox News and CNN at the same time to cover shoppers with the right amount of investment on each according to the potential. So avoid funnel vision in media planning too by doing that. And finally, think about ultra-local, geographic, and geo-targeting campaigns. So there is an amazing power of surrounding retail and your key retail. We talked about Walmart, but not only, with out-of-home, mobile, retail media, everything that can be geographically targeted. I would say that at this period of the year, it's even more important than time targeting for that. We do shop at 2 in the morning.
And by the way, it's a bit of cross promotion, but we did host a webinar on how to navigate the presidential election cycle this year for non-political advertisers. We hosted this one back in June. And if anybody's interested, you can find the recording on our site. Going to a second question. We have a lot of customers or clients that operate more in the entertainment or attraction-based category. And we do have a question if you have any insights, right, for attraction-based brands. Think about like zoos or event venues, etc., amusement parks. What could they do and how can they participate over the holiday season?
I think it's a good question in terms of, as we mentioned earlier with the political season, it's planning soon and early, because I'm already starting to think about holidays. Where am I going to go? I'm already thinking about things next year as well. People are starting to plan early and often because so many of these venues are selling out or booking out really fast. So if you want to have the best experience with your family, you got to start to get on things earlier. The other thing is offering services that are attractive above and beyond. So thinking about theme parks or amusement parks, a lot of perception is they're busy during the holidays. So how can you change that mindset and sell them offerings or services that allow you to skip lines, or the VIP kind of experiences? Those things change people's perception about the barriers as to why they don't want to go to those. So planning early and often in the cycle of people's planning, getting that message out. And the other thing is offering services that overcome barriers that people have around holidays.
And the last question that came in, and it's one that is also dear to my heart, is what are strategies for B2B companies, right? It's difficult sometimes. Should you participate, not participate? But is there anything that B2B companies can do to capitalize on the end of year momentum to drive sales?
You want me to take that, Ian? I think if you had remotely the question in mind as B2B, should you or should you not invest in holiday season? The answer is yes, you should. It is proven in many B2B categories that the holiday season is very fruitful. And if you do so, think about the mood that your client is in. So you may have literally a spectrum with the two extreme. If I describe the two extreme, you're going to have the people who did very well this season, and they may have the opportunity, because they did very well, to do an extra campaign to build on their brand image on top of Pure Perf that will give back next year, as we explained earlier. So you have all of these like prep that can be done with people. And at the other side of the spectrum, you have people that really need the partner, right? Like you have people that do not finish well the year, and they do need a partner that go down to the detail and help them prepare, and not just like, so when you do your B2B outreach, try to have these two classic cliche in mind, and to have a series of service and package ready for the first one, the series of package ready for the second one, and reach out.
So, to wrap it up, my key takeaway this season, right, is that, or for this holiday shopping season from the webinar, is that we don't stand out fitting, right? And we have 3 key takeaways also, which is the season is about helping stressed shoppers. We heard it from Damon. This year, there's a lot of uncertainty from an economic perspective, and this is about like helping your shoppers or potential new shoppers during this stressful season, usually. Pull from distinctive search behaviors and the diverse marketplace opportunities. This is about like what see and cover about emotion, for example, as well, and how can we create different narratives and bring different shoppers into the fold. And finally, push with new traditional media, optimize with these siloed data. And then Damon, I don't know if you want to add anything else on this last topic.
And me too, I need to admit. No, it's really what you just said right before. It's don't stand out, fit in. Why? Because as we introduced, the holiday shopper is not your category consumer. And if majority of the year for the category consumer, you need to drive distinctiveness of your product and services to drive the sales, this is the moment of the year when they want to know that the price is right. They're not going to be surprised tomorrow about the better price. It's going to arrive on time. The social currency of what you give will please the recipient or fit the bill overall. So it's a moment where you need to fit in, not stand out. It's a different philosophy to go into creative and media planning. It's a different philosophy also in reporting. I hope all of that helped.
Damon, Cian, thank you so much. For all of you watching, also thanks for sharing your time with us. And if you have any questions or need help, we clearly have like Damon and Cian and the team like here to support you. And if not, otherwise, happy holidays, right? Yes, and thanks everybody for joining us today.